Hello traders, we're going to be doing something a little bit different in the next few videos. I've had a few people ask me to start a fresh challenge and just kind of record challenge by challenge how things come together. So we're going to be doing that. So here we go, a fresh 50K challenge starting this morning. Now I had to redo all the audio for this video. I'm going to make this video a little shorter, but we had two nice trade setups today. I'm going to fast forward this in a couple seconds here. You'll see the first one I botched because I made a miscalculation with the take profit and stop loss tool, measurement tool in TradingView. I had it set to the wrong risk allocation. So it got me into like 4 times the number of contracts I was supposed to be in. So I got into the first trade, you'll see here in a couple seconds, and I realized, wait a second, that's not quite right. And then kind of got in and got out a couple times and screwed up. And so I ended up with 170, or I think a $76 win on the first one, but jumped out of the trade early. That did become a nice winning trade, a 1-to-3 winning trade. And then we got into a second trade, which we got the gist of. And so walked with 500 bucks today. Would have been 800 bucks if I didn't make a mistake on a nice fresh challenge. So now let's fast forward and have a little look at that. Okay, price coming down, about to cross our line, and we entered into the trade right here. 10 contracts when actually it should have been 3. So this is me trying to figure out what's going wrong in the system. And I accidentally closed out the trade right away as it regressed. So netted a $280 loss that wouldn't have been there. Then at this point, it's kind of funny to see yourself when you're flustered in the moment. But I realized at this point, I didn't realize that I was actually already out of the trade. I was trying to put my stop loss in right there. And then at some point I realized, wait a second, why do I not have any contracts here? So then I actually re-entered the trade coming up here in a couple seconds. Again, you can see the light bulb about to go off here when I realized, wait a second, I'm not in any trades. And that's why it won't let me put in multiple new limit or stop orders. So now at this point I realize, okay, let's put our drawing back on the chart, but I still haven't realized that I'm calculating it at the wrong number of contracts. So I'm going to fast forward this again. Basically we get into another 10 contracts, then I realize that, I wait for a tiny bit for it to go into profit, and I close out the trade at $76 profit. So we're still in the trade here. We've got too many contracts. I'm just waiting for it to be positive to cover the loss of the previous trade, and then I just closed out. I should have stayed in that trade, but I was just too over leveraged. It was like 4 times too big of a position. I just didn't want to take that loss if it had reversed. But a 70% chance that these trades play out usually, but I just wanted to be cautious. Had I not cashed out the trade, you can see it would have been a 1-to-3 right there. Crossed our 300% line. So a beautiful little trade right early in the trading session, and then we'll move on to our second trade. Well, we're back. We had our first trade here. I just tried recording this trade when we entered into it, but it didn't, for some reason the record didn't save properly. So anyway, these are where we had this little mess up, got into a couple trades here, calculated the lot size or the contract sizes incorrectly, so I got out of them early. That would have been a $400 win right there on a fresh challenge. And then this was our next trade right here. I got in right there, got out right there. You can see we're up 473 bucks. So about 400 bucks on this trade, and it would have been 400 bucks, but instead it was 73 bucks on this trade because I kind of messed that one up. But you can see this one shot right down in 3 candles. We would have had, this is probably a 1 to 3 trade. And then myself, I would have been happy to get out of it. Are we thinking that it's going to drop down to our liquidity way down here at the bottom? I mean, at the very least here, of course, for sure, right here. Probably it's going to do it in the next 2 candles while I'm talking. But personally, I think it's nice to get out a little bit earlier, put something in the bank, and then be good. So I'm going to see, we're getting close to the end of the trading window. It's almost 9:20. It shows up differently on here because it's not New York time. But it will be 9:20 in about 18 minutes or something like that. And so it could be one more trade set up here before that window closes. But I'll probably cap today at that. Come back on if I have a good trade here. And otherwise, there's a nice new fresh challenge up almost 500 bucks.